starts now.
Good evening. Essendon is under fire in a discrimination storm over the shock exit of CEO Andrew Thorburn. The Bombers slipped deeper into crisis as the club was condemned by senior political and religious leaders.
Andrew Thorburn was given an ultimatum by the Bombers, forcing him to choose between his faith and football.
To be honest with you, that he went with his faith doesn't surprise me because he's a person of great conviction.
The fallout has plunged Essendon back into crisis.
Is it affecting your faith in the club leadership?
Thanks for coming out, guys.
And ignited a storm.
The fact that an individual can be sacked from a position because of his religious belief doesn't have any place in our country.
The 57-year-old former banker resigned as Bombers CEO just 30 hours after he was appointed, rather than stand down as chairman of City on a Hill Church, which has hardline views on homosexuality and abortion. The Premier defiant after hitting out at what he describes as bigotry.
People can get all upset about the fact that someone resigned. I'm much more focused on the fact that people are harming themselves and sometimes taking their own lives because of bigotry and prejudice.
I fail to see why the Premier of the state needs to be an overlord and, start telling everyone else how they should run their organisations.
The Bombers say, as an inclusive club, they had no choice in terminating his contract.
I went and saw him and it became really clear that Andrew couldn't be chairman of that church with those views and CEO of the Essendon Football Club.
The Catholic Archbishop of Melbourne is ripping up his Essendon membership in protest.
I will be going looking elsewhere, I think.
You will, really?
Yes.
You feel you cannot remain a member of the Essendon Footy Club?
When there is a rejection of so many other people of faith by their actions.
Mr Thorburn declined to speak on camera today, but says it became clear to me that my personal Christian faith is not tolerated or permitted in the public square. This grieves me greatly, though not just for myself, but for our society overall.
In the 1950s, where you had ads for jobs which expressly said, Catholics and Jews need not apply, we're not going back to those days.
But the lawyer who represented Israel Folau in his battle says employers have the right to choose, particularly when it comes to top jobs.
Where there is a conflict between an organisation's beliefs and that of their head or lead person or CEO, then it's probably more reasonable than not in those circumstances to terminate.
The bungled appointment has put the Essendon chairman David Barham under renewed pressure after just 2 months in the job.
Well, I think chaos was your word. I agreed with it. But the mistakes that are being made, there are just too many, quite frankly.
Dave, the president, is doing a great job.
How can you say he's done a great job when you've hired and fired a CEO within 24 hours?
And Chief Football reporter Tom Brown has the latest. Tom, Andrew Thorburn has just released another statement.
He's just released a new statement, Mitch, in regards to the many messages of support he's received, including expressing genuine worry for jobs and employment prospects due simply to faith. I believe there are many Australians who fear the implications for their livelihoods, aspirations and participation in community life. True tolerance, inclusion and diversity also, according to Thorburn, includes people of faith. Just finally, insight into Essendon's top accounting firm and how they missed this reference on the church website. They were in charge of the reference checks. They didn't locate the sermon in question from 2013. The reason it's now prominent on Google, number 2 in searches, is tens of thousands of people have Googled that in recent days. It's easy to find now, but the reference checks conducted by the accounting firm in charge, they didn't find the sermons in question, which might have avoided this crisis, Mitch.
Tom Brown at AFL House, thank you.